One of the biggest misconceptions about homeschool is people think that you're replicating public school at home.
Yeah.
No, you're not. Look, I would have left public school just for the socialization aspects and the things that were going into the curriculum and the teaching methods. But now I look at it, it's like, well, no, it afforded me all these opportunities to be able to adapt an educational model to actually meet the needs of my child, not perform some sort of dance for the mass production of education.
Love it. Come on.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's a book by John Taylor Gatto called Weapons of Mass Instruction, and which kind of plays off what he's saying there. But we do homeschool because we want something different. I'll never forget the first time I read my first homeschooling book, Kicking and Screaming, in 1984, Homegrown Kids by Dr. Raymond Moore. And he was talking about education that happens within the walls, the four walls of a home. It's warm and responsive between parents and children. There's time to explore. There's time to pursue interest and work. There's time to serve others. I just thought, wow, this is just too good to be true. This could not really work. And it took me a while to come to grips with the fact that, yes, it could work even in 1984. But I love what he's saying there because our tendency, I just want to put some people's minds at ease. Most of us went to public schools. And so when we bring our kids home, that's the only educational model we know. And I tell the story about my really dear friend, Dorothy Carmen. I interviewed her for an article that I was writing years ago. And she said when they first started homeschooling, now she is such an innovative homeschooler, but when she started, she said she would fix bagged lunches for her two kids. They would pick them up, walk out the back door, walk around to the front door, ring the doorbell, and Dorothy would open the door and they would say, "Good morning, Mrs. Carmen."
Oh my gosh.
You
How
know,
That's right. I mean, that
that's what
the
we know. And and
it's totally fair. You're right. And I
and
feel like we have to have so much more grace because I
Yes,
forget
and
that.
then Dorothy, I mean, she has done great things with her grandkids and mentored so many homeschooling moms and run an organization in Oregon and was so creative in everything she did, but that's how she started because that's what she knew. And so the quicker you can relax and shed that, and really lean into the flexibility and the opportunities that homeschooling offers to tailor make that curriculum for your child, then you're going to enjoy it that much more, and your kids are going to enjoy it that much more.
Totally. I think you're gonna enjoy it so much more and your parents will enjoy it so much more. We have the luxury, and I'm saying it's a luxury because I started down this journey when my oldest was only 3 or 4. So I recognize that that is a luxury and something that the Lord provided for us because when you enter the earliest stage of education through the homeschooling lens, everything you just said is kind of an obvious notion. But I would say from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, a ginormous chunk of homeschoolers, if not the biggest chunk now, are they're removing from one system and starting something new. And that's the really hard disconnect. Because when I first started too, it was still like, wait a minute. And, I'm sure there's moms listening who are like, wait, okay, I should homeschool, but that's 7 hours. Like, I don't need to, how do I even do that? And like, he's kind of pointing out in this clip, well, no, I mean, depending on the age of your child, my oldest is 8. He reads 15 to 25 minutes a day, does piano for 20 minutes, and he does some more of the academic stuff for maybe an hour and a half, some history, some English. That's average for, I would say, the homeschool family for a 6 to 8 year old. And I think that's just such a like a mind-blowing concept. Like, wait a minute, like an 8 year old, like you're done in 2 hours or less. You know what I mean? So I think
Oh,
the more we
oh,
can
oh, I know. That's
encourage
right.
people, like, yes, and then it's like, well, what do we do with the rest of the time? It's like, let them play. Like, you're only a kid for a small amount of time.
That's
Grayson will
right.
spend an hour building Legos. He'll run outside. Like, we all talk about when we were young. So your kids are young, so let them be young. I was gonna read some comments. And the top comment is former public school teacher, dot, dot, dot. My kids are homeschooled. Now this one's good. Here's a good encourager right here. I have changed my homeschool curriculum about 3 times, and I've only been homeschooling 2 years. It's a blessing to be able to just find what works for my child. And we do know probably the best curriculum out there would be.
That's right. BJU Press Homeschool.
That
And if
they got
you
your back for
that's
sure.
right. And if you need help, this is a K through 12, grade 12 solution. There are videos, there's teachers' helps, there are also teacher companions that really help you glean the best out of a lesson. But there are also homeschool consultants that are moms just like you that can show you how to use this curriculum and tailor it toward your family, your schedule, and your needs. And that's at homeschoolhelp.com/map. And you can go to your map and click on it, map of your state, and find a consultant near you. And this consultant will help you find answers to your questions about homeschooling and curriculum.
Right. Exactly. I was gonna read some more.
Yeah.
The top comment here just says exactly, so that's not super helpful. Um, Kids will benefit the rest of their lives from summer camp, Boy Scouts, for development of socialization skills. I know they just highlighted summer camp and Boy Scouts, but I think just a good reminder is we don't want to keep throwing school under the bus, but is the idea of taking your child, putting them somewhere 8 hours a day, only with children of their age, the best way to homeschool? Probably not. The in fact, I was going to pull up a clip. Maybe I will pull it up real quick.
It says, "Kid outed as homeschooler after looking adult in the eyes while talking." I've had that happen at the legislature, other places so many times. Somebody will say, "Oh, I knew they were homeschooled because they shook my hand and looked me in the eye and knew how to talk to me."
All right.
Um,